Hello friends, and welcome. The new moon is once again over Bodh Gaya, India, and it's time for our monthly check-in on how things are going with the Integrated Dharma program and where we're going next. I hope things are going well for you. I hope you're able to stay engaged with the material. Remember, the idea is to just do a little bit at a time, a little bit here and there. Read it when it first comes in during the week, and then throughout the week, spend your time investigating it in your own practice, in your own experience. We're in a stage of the program now where we're really focusing entirely on the Satipatthana Sutta. This is the discourse on the foundations or the establishment of mindfulness. And it really is the core text of the insight meditative tradition. We've gone over the important introduction that sort of sets the stage for how we sit down with a certain sense of ardency and mindfulness and full awareness. For example, we've gotten to the breathing, where we breathe in and out mindfully, noticing long and short, trying to bring awareness to every nuance of the experience of breathing in and out. And we've looked at the sort of chorus, the important refrain that recurs throughout the text, urging us to see not just the phenomenon at a time, but notice the nature of the phenomena that we see, that they arise and pass away, that they occur internally and externally, that we can be just enough aware of it that the moment we notice one of the sensations of the body, for example, we immediately let it go so that we can be aware of the next, and let that go to be aware of the next. In order to bring our attention each moment to the cutting edge of our experience, what's arising right now, right here, we really need to let go of what just occurred the moment before. So really, this exercise of bringing mindful awareness to the nuances of experience is really an exercise in letting go, moment after moment after moment, in order to be open to the new phenomena that arise. Now, over the next few weeks, we're going to be working our way through the other three foundations of mindfulness. Mindfulness of feeling, mindfulness of mind, and mindfulness of mental objects. And here we're really switching the emphasis. For example, when we move into the mindfulness of feelings, it doesn't matter so much what channel it's coming through, so to speak, that we're not just looking at the sensations of the body, but it can be sights, sounds, smells, tastes, bodily sensations, or even thoughts. Now we're meant to be looking at what is the feeling tone that co-arises with it. According to this model of mind, every moment has some valence to it. We are wired, so to speak, to experience at any moment some sense of pleasure or pain. It's feeling good or it's not feeling good. A simple example of this, when you touch your arm, there's the sensation of touch. That's the mindfulness of the body. You can be aware of exactly what that touch feels like. But if you pinch it hard enough that it's painful, you can feel the pain arising. And that pain is one thing, and the touch is something else. Those are two different phenomena being channeled and organized through two different sets of apparatus in the mind and body, and then they're being conjoined in our experience to appear like a single experience. So to really be able to tell where the touch leaves off and where the discomfort begins, that's the interface between mindfulness of the body and mindfulness of feeling. And of course, when you can feel the pain kind of rise up, and then when you let go, you can equally easily feel it dissipate. It just goes away. So this is happening all the time in all aspects of our experience, but generally we're not aware of it. We're so easily caught and enamored by the content of our sensory input that we're often not able to really discern the quality of that input as a separate phenomenon. So this is something we're practicing with in the mindfulness of feeling. And then in the third foundation, we're really looking at the quality of the mind, the quality of mental awareness. We're not looking at the mind as some sort of pure consciousness. We're actually, if you read the text carefully, we're looking at how consciousness is impinged upon by various emotional states, primarily greed, hatred, and delusion, the three big ones. Notice when the mind is tainted by some wanting or desire, and notice when it's not. Notice when the mind is influenced by some attitude of resistance or annoyance, and notice when it's not. You see, when we are able to discern this sort of coloring of consciousness by the emotional systems of the mind, we're better able to discern how they come and go, how our entire emotional life is really impermanent, and various responses come up, but then pass away again, just like the sensations of the body, just like the feeling tones that come into the senses. So this is the sort of thing that we're looking at. And then next after that, we're going to get into mindfulness of the mind. And here we really are of mental objects. We're going to be looking at a wide array of phenomena as parsed by some of the standard structures of Buddhist psychology. We'll be looking at the 5 hindrances, sense desire, ill will, restlessness, sluggishness, and doubt. Each one of those will be an object of attention. Notice it arise, pass away. Notice when it's there, when it's not there, when it arises, how you can abandon it, and how you can hold yourself and notice that it's not occurring anymore. We do that with each of the 5 hindrances. We do something very similar with the 7 factors of awakening, sort of the key sets of positive and negative mental states that are helpful and unhelpful towards our gaining clarity of understanding. We go through the 5 aggregates systematically, watching each one arise and pass away. Material form arises, passes away, such as feeling tone arise and pass away, much like the second foundation. And the same thing with perception, the emotional life, and with consciousness itself. We're also going to look at the 6 sense bases. Notice visual experience and auditory experience and nose, tongue, and body experience. Noticing mind or thoughts as they arise and pass away. And finally, the 4th foundation focuses on the 4 Noble Truths. Not as some sort of abstract formula about how to organize the Buddhist teachings, but as a very experiential, phenomenological experience of the 4 Noble Truths. I really think this is where it started in the first discourse. It really meant to be seen as a kind of lived experience. With the phenomenological intelligence that you develop over this month of learning to discern with more and more precision what's actually going on in the flow of consciousness, your stream of consciousness, you're able to actually see specific instances of suffering and how it arises because of certain conditions, and how if you hold yourself a certain way, it'll dissipate or go away, and then how to practice doing that more consistently. So, need I say, it's an endless, boundless ground of exploration. It can be fascinating once you really start noticing what's actually going on in our experience. And I think you'll find if you are able to spend time each day as part of your meditation practice, to really allow that practice to be guided by this classical text, you'll find it will infuse your meditation practice with a whole new set of inspirations, a whole new set of guidelines of what to look for and how to hold yourself in the midst of all of this effervescence of experience that's arising and passing away all the time. So I wish you well with it. I hope it goes well, and I very much appreciate your continuing to put your attention and your time and your care into this program. If you stick with it and allow it to, I'm very sure that it can be quite transformational for you. Thank you so much.